Hey guys, welcome. This is Chris Cox from Another Guitar Lesson. Today we're going to do Alice Cooper, No More Mr. Nice Guy from the awesome Billion Dollar Babies album. If you don't have any Alice Cooper albums, this is a great place to start. I love classic Alice Cooper band. So just before we get started into the intro riff, I just wanted to say thanks for everybody subscribing to my channel. But if you like what I do, please hit that red button, subscribe to me. Throw me a like, send me a comment. That helps me so much into growing my YouTube channel. I want to take this channel and provide you guys with as much lessons as I can. So all those things really help. Thank you guys. Let's get started. Killer riff, right? Okay, so what we're going to start with, we're going to be playing the open A string. We're going to have our first finger on the 7th fret of the D. You're going to have your ring finger on the 9th fret of the G. And let's go ahead and grab that octave of the A here. It's going to be on the 10th fret of the B string. So we're getting 2 down strokes, but we're stopping that. You know, we're kind of basically palm muting here. So we hit that quick strum down and then stop the strings. Okay, so that's the first part. So you're hitting A, D, G, and B. From there, we're going to lift up the pinky finger. We're going to put the middle finger here on the 8th fret of the B and go. Okay, and then from there, we're going to lift up the ring finger and we're going to bar across the D, G, and B string with our first finger. We're still going to be playing, so it's like this. Okay, but we're going to grab, so it's going to be 7th fret D, 7th fret G, 8th fret B. So we have that's the first part. So again, with the muting, you want to basically stop those strings in between. So it's quick strums. But you want them all. You want to make sure you're hitting all 3 of those strings so that you're getting that nice ring. And then from there we have a riff of, so that's the little, I guess, turnaround riff or turnaround lick before we go right back into the riff. So it's going to be an open G. We're going to slide from the 7th fret of the D to the 9th fret of the D. So it's, and then we're going to come back to the 7th fret of the G. So we have this. We're going to come back to the 9th fret of the D. 7th fret of the D, open D. So it's all together. We'll play that slowly through. Excuse me, underneath the first guitar solo or first fill, we're just playing. I'm just kind of, you know, I know there's more of a complex rhythm going on than probably what I put on my backing track, but the basic rhythm behind that is going to be a B minor, to A major, or excuse me, E major, so, or just E5 power chord. So the B minor is going to be barring your first finger across all 6 strings. So from, you know, on the 7th fret, you want to make sure all those strings are down. You can put your 3rd finger on the 9th fret of the A, pinky fingers on the 9th fret of the D. It's B minor. But it's a you know, it's a nice, you know, kind of loose rhythm behind there. But you could, resolves to A5. But the lead part, we're going to start here with a full bend on the 9th fret of the G. So we have a full bend, meaning 2 frets up. So this is the note you're bending to, but it's a slow bend. So we go up, then basically stop the note, and then go up again, but faster. So we go bend up, let it come back, and then here on the 7th fret of the G. So we have, then we're going to come here on the 10th fret of the B and do a full bend. So this is the note we're going to. So we have this so far. We repeat that again, but we do a, so that's just a, let's stop the note again, and then let it come up and down. So it's kind of like a bend and release, and then back to here, and then we go back to the 10th fret of the B. So we have a little bit of vibrato at the very end. Then we go back one more time and do the, and it's going to go. So that's several different ways we're going to bend that note there. So we go, come back to here, so when you do that, you're going to bend the full bend up, let it come back down. So up, you're going to come here to the 9th fret of the G, back to the 7th fret of the G, and then you're going to do an overbend. And then you're going to rest here on the 7th fret of the D, and that's going to go down the fretboard. You're going to let that hold. It's going to follow the chord change. We'll go over that in a second. So let's play that to fill slowly. Verses. So the verses are basically a C minor and G. So there's lots of ways we could play that. Listening to the album, you know, having 2 guitar players, it sounds like one guy goes high, one guy goes low. So what I mean by that is somebody's playing the lower chords, kind of more the bassy note chords, and then we have somebody different, you know, playing the more tenor, I guess, treble chords. So I think it sounds really cool like this, by, you know, playing the A major there, because this song is a great rocking tune, but there's lots of cool major chord in the verse, which really kind of, you know, you go from a kind of an aggressive riff to kind of a happy, you know, verses. So that's going to be A major. We're going to leave out the high E though. So we're going to have 7th fret, 3rd finger, 6th fret, middle finger, 1st fret on the B. So we have B5, 6G, 7D. And you could even hit the open A on that if you want to make it a little thicker. Okay. Instead of playing the whole, you could play the whole C minor, but I think it kind of sounds cool just to grab just that, again, those treble strings. So this is going to be 6 of the D, 6 of the G, 5 of the B. So those three strings, D, G, and B. And then we're going to come up here and grab the G major, which is going to look just like your A major, except it's going to be 2 frets down. So it's going to be D5, G4, and B3. So we have this so far. And then we're going to do some power chords. So we're going to do B5, and that's going to be 2nd fret of the A, 4th fret of the D, and if you want to add that octave, you can also play the 4th fret of the G. We're going to shift down a few frets here to the D5, so that's 5th fret A, 7th fret D, 7th fret G, and then we're going to end on the E5, and that's going to be 7th fret A, 9th fret D, 9th fret G. So it goes back to A. We can play it here, or we can go to here. So we could go. I'll play it where I showed you guys. So the C minor there. Let's just say that's a C sharp minor. So excuse me for that. So let's try that again here. So we're going to go back around. So this is going to be A major, C minor, D major, just like we did before. So the verse is the same. Now, this is the last part of the verse. It's a cool rhythm, so it sounds like this. Okay, and that's again another loose rhythm, but it's going to start here on the F sharp minor. So that's going to be 9th fret of the A, 11th fret of the D, 11th fret of the G, 10th fret of the B, and then we're going to have the finger barring across all 5 of these strings and grab that 9th fret of the high E. So it's kind of like so again, kind of like similar to the intro riff. We're hitting all the chords, we're stopping, all the notes, and then we're doing a quick string mute in between that. So it's, and something I like to do when I'm changing chords like that is just grab that bass part first and then hit the treble string. So that's another technique or option you could do. To B minor. So again, just like before, barring all 6 strings across the 7th fret. The ring finger is going to be on the 9th fret of the A string, and then your pinky finger is going to grab the 9th fret of the D, and then of course you're barring G, B, and high E. So same rhythm pattern. We're going to go up here to D major. So that's going to be first finger on the 5th fret. You're going to flatten out your ring finger so that you can get the 7th fret of the D, G, and B. So it's, and then we're going to shift up 2 frets to the E major. And then there's another fill there. So I'm going to play that rhythm really slowly again. So starts with F sharp minor, B minor, D major, F major, and then we're going to do so that's your second fill. So we're going to slide from the 9th fret of the D to the 11th fret. And we're going to grab the 9th fret of the G, 10th fret of the G, or 11th fret of the G, and then come back to the 9th fret. So we have slide from 9 to 11, back to the 9 of the G, 11 of the G, back to the 9. So it's, and then with some vibrato there, back to the chords again. Third fill, it's going to be a little different. So that's going to be the same slide. So that's going to be again from 9 to 11 on the D. Grab the 9 of the G, grab the 11 of the G, and then we're going to bend a full bend, a slow bend from the B string on the 12th. So it's, and then we're going to go into the rhythm. So the rhythm of, not the rhythm, the chorus, excuse me. I had a hard time talking tonight. So the chorus sounds kind of like this. Okay, so we got a familiar chord already in there that we've learned. So this is going to be your F sharp minor again. We're going to kind of play that and let it trail off. So what I mean by trailing off is you're still putting pressure on the frets, but you kind of let your hand kind of slide back up the neck. And then from there we're going to go. So that's going to be, you know, we're looking at the 7th fret of the D and G string. So it'd be considered a perfect 4th interval. And then we're going to go down to the 9th fret of the D and G. And there's where we're working. So we go. So that's a 7th fret, 9th fret, 7th fret, back to the 9th fret, and then we end there before we repeat that. So all slowly. Repeat again. Now before we go into that little riff there, we do a one more time. So we're just switching from 7, 9 back to 7. Open E, 2nd fret of the E, 5th fret of the E, and then 4th fret of the A. So it's repeats again. Repeats again. So let's go through that whole part slowly again, or show you how all that pulls together. And then we've already know this riff, we've learned in the beginning. So we've already learned that, so that's where you basically go right after that chorus. Now we have our 3rd fill, and that's going to be a little different. So we're going through. And it's going to sound like this. Now this is a tough one, because you're doing the full bend here on the 13th fret of the B. So we're going to here, but we're ending on the 14th fret of the B. So 15 is where we're bending up to, but then we come down just a little bit so we can grab that 14th fret. So it sounds like this if we didn't bend. So that's what you're kind of going for. But of course, it's going to sound cooler if we do our bend. So that's going to be 9th fret of the G, 12th fret of the G, 10th fret of the B, and then 13th fret of the B. But we're going to bend here, so it's going to be. So I'm doing a full bend, stop it, and then I'm going to let it down just a touch. So I can get that. What note is that? Just looking at that, that's a C sharp. So let's try that again. Very cool lick. Now I think we're into our 4th fill. So right before we go back into the 2nd verse, we do. Okay, so play that one more time. Okay, so that's going to be a full bend here on the 12th fret of the high E. So we're again full bend up, and then we're doing bend up and then release. And then we're going to go to the 12th fret of the B and do and that's just going to be bend up and release. And then we're going to end here on the 11th fret of the G. So okay. Now, on the second verse, instead of doing the, where we were doing the A and then the C minor and the G major, it's going to go back to that rhythm we did earlier, which is going to be that F sharp minor. Same riff there. And then we go back into the same rhythm we did for the last chorus, so nothing's different. So the only thing we need to go over now is the bridge. So we're going to say we went through and we're doing the chorus. Excuse me. Play the bridge. Okay, so we're grabbing the D string here, the 11th fret. First finger is going to be on the 9th fret of the G. Your middle finger is going to be on the 10th fret of the B, and we're going to bar across and grab that high E on the 9th. So it's going to lift up your middle finger. We're still not going to move those that ring finger and first finger, so we're going to be getting the 11th fret of the D, 9, 9, 9 of the G and B. Excuse me, G, B, and high E. So shift down a whole step. We're going to grab the ring finger on the 9th fret of the D, first fingers on the 7th fret of the G, middle fingers on the 8th fret of the B, and then again we're barring across to grab that high E on the 7th fret. So we have, so this is what we have so far. Lift up the middle finger, shift up 2 frets, and then we're doing a B minor we learned earlier, and then the, you can play an E5 or an E major there, and then you're going to repeat again. Now, the way the album is, there's one guitar player is just strumming the chords, but the other guy's doing it arpeggiated like I just showed you. So then now we're going to turn our volume back up, and we're going A5, so this is up here at the open A, 2nd fret of the D and G, and going C5, and this is going to be C sharp 5, G5, So the last part of that is just basically we're playing that same riff that we played earlier, just in a different cadence. So it's open E, 2nd fret of the E, 5th fret of the E, 4th fret of the A. So you go, repeat again, one more time, ends on an A5.